Welcome back to the Intercourse Show. I am your host, Mr. B. Today we have a very interesting show for you. In this segment, we're discussing the ratings for the NFL Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny. As you know, there's been some controversy with this performance, seeing how they got a reggaeton audience to perform to a crowd of American football fans that barely know his music or his catalog of hits. So, despite the debate that's been going back and forth, let's weigh in the numbers. Let's see what the numbers said. So according to the numbers,
What's up, guys? Spenny. I'm tired of being lied to, and I won't suffer it on this channel. And when I saw this chart yesterday, I said, this doesn't pass the smell test. Bad Bunny performing at a Super Bowl that, wasn't really that exciting at all. Nobody had a lot of energy behind either team. Nobody knows who Bad Bunny is. Bad Bunny doesn't sing in English. Nobody knows any Bad Bunny songs. And they're telling me that it was the most watched halftime show in history. You see all these other artists. I mean, whatever you think of these artists, people know who Kendrick Lamar is and Usher. They know who Rihanna is, and obviously Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Eminem. I don't know about The Weeknd or about whatever the hell's going on over here, but they know these artists, and you're telling me that he did 40% more Bad Bunny did 40% more viewers than Eminem and Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre? I don't think so. I don't think so. And by the way, these were actually very entertaining Super Bowls, a lot of these.
Hey, boss, just arrived on site. Gearing up now.
Time theft. It's costing your business.
With Connect Team's GPS clock.
So what's happening here? Exactly. You're being lied to. And we can prove it. And you haven't heard anything from the legacy media about Bad Bunny because they know what's about to happen. They know that the filth and degeneracy that they put up on camera, on screen, the moralizing, the lecturing, the virtue signaling, the grinding, the lyrics like this. I'm not even going to read them. Not going to read them. It'll become a meme. Not going to read them. That are getting GOP lawmakers to call for a full investigation of NBC and the NFL. They wanted this to be seen by as many people as possible. They're desperate for it to be seen by as many people as possible. They've done everything they can to shove this and force this sickening act, X-rated lyrics, into your home and into the minds of your children. Well, I have good news for you. That didn't happen. Not that the show shouldn't be investigated and NBC shouldn't be fined a fortune for this, because they should, based on FCC law, but that actually not a lot of people saw it. This is according to Samba TV. This is one of those TV tracker sites, right, that creates data on what people are watching and when. And there are a couple of these different models, but this one's been around for a long time and it has a lot of accuracy. It's called the Samba TV ratings system. This is, of course, critical because if people aren't watching, then no advertisers are going to pay any money to be on your program. So you have to be able to track who's watching, and you have to be sophisticated in it, and advertisers can sue you if you're lying about those numbers. So this is why Samba TV exists. Let's read. Super Bowl delivered a massive night of television. Okay, fine. But does it match this? Does it match this graphic that libs are sharing around here? No, it does not. 48 million U.S. households tuned into the Super Bowl. That's a 13% decline from last year's game. That actually makes a lot of sense because it just wasn't that interesting of a Super Bowl. You know, it's a total blowout. There weren't a lot of star players. You know, it's just is what it is. 26 million U.S. households watched Bad Bunny's halftime performance, down 40% from Kendrick Lamar's show last year. Now, hold up. Wait a second. You're telling me that 48 million tuned into the Super Bowl, but only 26 million watched the halftime show. So you're saying that we were able to get half the viewers to turn off the TV during the halftime performance? Well, yeah, baby. While viewership declined year over year, the Super Bowl remains a powerful cultural moment, blah, blah, blah. people watching. Sure, 40 million people watching is a lot. But this is crazy. And by the way, it's not sort of for some right-wing site. Again, it's not Breitbart. It's Samba. 26 million household watch Bad Bunny. This is a 40% collapse. So we did it. I can't believe it. The official numbers won't come out until tomorrow, but the television viewership numbers closely mirror the Samba report. It indicates a massive drop in viewers for the halftime show, which never happens. We're still talking about huge numbers because it's the Super Bowl, but a comparative disaster for the NFLs, and advertisers will probably be suing. Will most likely be suing the NFL over this. By the way, there are so many different videos that show, like, just because people were watching doesn't mean that they like enjoyed or knew what was going on. Like, there are videos from bars all over the country where it's like, look, these screens are on and people are viewing them. It's not that's not an indication that people like here. This is video from the actual stadium. Does anybody look like they're enjoying this? Just because the TV's on doesn't mean anyone's actively watching. So again, an imperfect metrics, but nonetheless, even if it's imperfect, they're still getting destroyed here. So Super Bowl itself is down pretty significantly, but the halftime show was a nightmare. 26 million households. This means that half the viewers turned off the TV, and a 40% drop from last year. A total and complete culture war victory. By the way, where do those viewers go? They went to our Turning Point USA show. That's where they went. They went to our Turning Point USA. I love the Turning Point USA halftime show. I can't wait to see what's up next year. We know that half the people at the Super Bowl turned the TV off at halftime and didn't watch Dumb Bunny. Yes. In the incoming weeks, we'll learn that Bad Bunny numbers were fake. Yeah, they are fake. They're mail-in views. Mail-in views and electronic views. The machines kept counting. I can't stop laughing. Absolutely brutal. Okay, here we go. Chris Cuomo coming after me. Hey, Bad Benny, did you miss this, Benny Johnson? Look, Bad Bunny halftime show got views on YouTube because the NFL and Apple Music and Bad Bunny, with like tens of millions of subscribers, all got together and published this and pushed it into their feeds collectively. But anyway, still, they got 41 million views. That's a lot of views. Fine. But just Turning Point USA, with a teeny, minuscule fraction of the subscribers, got 20 million views. That's a massive win. You're talking trillion-dollar organizations. What is the NFL franchise worth? Trillions of dollars. What is Apple worth? Trillions of dollars. Are colluding to make this the biggest video in the planet, and all they can do.
Dreaming of a custom home that's exactly how you want it? At America's Home Place, we've been building homes your way, on your land, for over 50 years. We're not just another home builder, we're your home builder. Customizable plans? Check. Affordable pricing? Absolutely. Quality craftsmanship? Every single time. With over 50 convenient locations, we make it easy to bring your vision to life. Select all your design features at your local building center. Don't just take...
Is like 40% reduction in views year over year with half the people stopping watching, and we still had the #1 live stream in YouTube history? No, I'll take that, which is exactly what I said. This was never about beating the NFL. The NFL has 60 years on us. They have terrestrial broadcast rights throughout the universe for the Super Bowl. This was never about beating them in views. Nobody ever said we're going to beat them in views. We said we're going to make a cultural moment, which is how I responded to Chris Cuomo here. It's a Bad Benny LMAO. The point was never to beat the NFL. It was to win culturally by getting people to turn off the halftime show, and we succeeded. Preliminary ratings showed that the Bad Bunny halftime show tanked by 39%. And that we got half the people watching the game to turn off their TVs. Turning Point halftime show is the most watched YouTube stream in history, and it has 40 million views across all platforms. That's like a perfect corollary to the people turning off the show and watching ours. So we won. Good enough for me. Cuomo. Got him. Got him. What a nightmare. Half of the Super Bowl watchers tuned out. Amazing. More anecdotal data. I went to a neighborhood get-together. Nobody wanted to see the global favela halftime show turned into the Turning Point halftime show. I doubt this was a unique scenario. Viewership metrics comparison is very, very flawed. It was clear to me, even before the Super Bowl halftime show started, that Turning Point achieved cultural victory when the table of 20-somethings by me in Miami hotspot on Sunday afternoon were openly talking about the Turning Point halftime show instead of the cornfield one. Huge cultural shift, a tsunami. That's right. Turning Point halftime show achieved 40 to 50 million
40 and 50 million views
on all
tuned in across all platforms. Headliner Kid Rock joining Laura Ingraham to tout the show's success and to discuss why he chose to perform his cover of Cody Johnson's Till I Can't.
I knew they wanted to have a program that's great on, family and faith and great music. And I did it to honor him and his fans because he wasn't able to do it. So I said, well, he's going to have a lot of fans. And let's try to play one of his songs.
And now, the top iTunes songs. Look at that. You called me fake news for reporting on this yesterday. Baby. Good to be right. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. We're going to keep winning. See ya.
Okay, that was Benny reporting in on the numbers. Apparently, they were successful. The TPUSA organization, that's Charlie Kirk's organization, the late great Charlie Kirk, who was recently assassinated earlier this summer, hosted a competing event anticipating that a lot of Americans would not be able to relate with the Super Bowl halftime show, being all in Spanish as they were playing reggaeton music. So they had Kid Rock headline a competing event during the same time slot that Bad Bunny was supposed to be performing. And they got 20 million viewers on a live stream, which was pretty interesting. So the fact that they were able to do that, it's not a small task. And they managed to reduce the viewership numbers for, the Super Bowl halftime show by a significant margin. I think the numbers he said was about 40% down from what it was last year. This to me is not surprising. I mean, to be honest with you, there was a halftime performance all in Spanish with the artist that a lot of people couldn't relate to. I know Bad Bunny is a very, very popular reggaeton artist, but the majority of the fan base for the Super Bowl is not reggaeton fans. That's 300 plus million people who are probably not fans or even aware of the type of music that Bad Bunny sings. So that explains why you would see a lot of people drop from viewership. And so the numbers will reflect that. I don't know how that's going to affect the NFL long-term in the planning, but it is significant because they sell ad revenue according to those viewership numbers, and that determines the next year's ad revenue that they'll charge to brands to advertise their products. And it's not a good look if, there's going to be brands seeking to advertise during the Super Bowl and the viewership numbers low. And it is quite possible that brands could potentially take legal action if a certain number of viewers were promised and it didn't materialize. We don't know if that's going to actually take place, but we'll have to wait and see how that whole thing plays out. But I thought it was important to kind of do a follow-up to the whole debate about it with numbers, right? Statistics, sometimes the numbers will tell a better story. And if his reporting is indeed true, then that would mean that the numbers didn't support that this act made sense for the Super Bowl. So that being said, I'm just giving you guys an update on that. I definitely welcome you to like and subscribe to the Intercourse Show podcast and connect with our YouTube channel, and also to weigh in on this video. Let us know what your thoughts were. Is this an overreaction? Was this a show? Should the NFL consider doing other international acts for their main game, the Super Bowl? Let us know what you think. Well, I'm Mr. B. Thank you very much for joining us. And until we speak again, I wish you all well. God bless.